Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be creating a full glam look without lashes. So if you want to see how this video goes down, stay tuned.
Baby, don't be mad, you know how pretty it is. Up in your mouth, you speak good to me. I feel like it.
So as usual, I'm gonna start off with doing my brows. I'm gonna lay my brow hairs down with the Got2b gel. This is super easy to use, and if you have a brow gel, just use that, but this works perfectly for me. I'm also gonna go ahead and clean up the bottom part of my brows with my MAC Cosmetics concealer palette. I'm using the shade NT45. I'm gonna use that along with a flat brush, and I'm just gonna clean up the bottom part of my brows. I'm also going to go ahead and buff the concealer into my skin with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush just to blend the concealer out and make it appear smooth as possible. I'm also going to go ahead with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder in the shade Banana Bread along with my Real Techniques setting brush. I'm going to use that to push the powder lightly into the concealer underneath my brows so that it stays put. Filling my brows in, I like to use this wood lip liner pencil. It's a lip liner, it's an eyeliner, and it's a brow pencil for me. I'm gonna use this same pencil throughout the video because it just works. It's super soft and it's just really easy to fill my brows in, and it's also affordable. a dark brown color, and I'm gonna go on top of the matte black that I used earlier just to lighten it up and, you know, smoke it out just a little bit. This is a technique that I like to use, especially if I'm not going to be using eyelashes and I want to do a full glam look. I like to create the impression of thicker eyelashes. As you can see, I extended the brown and I made it a wing. So I went back in with the same brown and I'm using that to blend the outer V of my eyes. Again, you just stamp it and then blend it out and take it into the crease very lightly. I'm going into a lighter brown and I'm gonna go on top of the dark brown that I used. Also, I'm focusing it at the inner portions close to my nose and I'm just blending that into my crease as well. Now I'm going into a shimmer color. The second color didn't show, but it's a lighter gold color. Going in with a flat brush, I'm putting that all over my eyelids. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, it just looks really, really nice and it will suit my girls who don't like to use falsies or wear eyelash extensions. For primer, I'm going in with a Zaron Cosmetics primer. I'm just gonna put that all over my skin. For foundation, I'm using a skin tint, not foundation. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Skin Tint in the shade 19 and 18. I'm gonna mix that up and blend that all over my face. So I'm going to buff that into my skin with my Real Techniques Insta Pop Face Brush. I'm gonna go in with a sponge to do some extra blending and to pick up any excesses. It might look crazy now, but we're gonna blend it into the skin soon. I'm going back into my MAC Cosmetics concealer palette, and I went in with a dark shade. I'm not sure what the shade is called, but I'm going to use that to cream contour. I'm putting that on the high points of my cheekbones, the sides of the bridge of my nose, really close to my eyebrows, and you know, my forehead and temples. I'm going to go ahead and buff that into my skin with my Real Techniques Insta Pop Cheek Brush. I'm also going to go ahead and blend the nose contour in with my brush from Morphe. Again, I'm going back in with a sponge to do some extra blending and to pick up any excesses. For cream blush, I'm using one from Rare Beauty in the shade Love. I use this in almost all my videos. I'm going to apply that and buff that in with my Colorbox Cosmetics brush. Go ahead and set my under eye area with a very light powder from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm just going to push that in with a puff. I'm setting just my under eye area with this light powder because I want a bright under eye. If you haven't seen my tutorial on the bright under eye look, I would link it above for you guys to go ahead and follow. I'm going back in with my Huda Beauty setting powder, and I'm using that to bake under my eyes with the same puff. I'm also going to go all over my face and push that powder into my skin. So essentially I am just baking my under eye area and I am setting the rest of my face. For the rest of my face, I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation in the shade 390. And I'm going in with my powder brush from Colorbox Cosmetics. I'm just pushing that lightly in all over my face just to set the foundation that we applied earlier. For bronzer, I'm using my Fenty Beauty Coconutty Bronzer. I'm using my Morphe brush, and I'm just applying that where I applied my cream bronzer earlier, very lightly as well. Now I'm going back in with the same pencil that I used to do my eyebrows. I'm just tightening my eyes. I felt using a black would be way too harsh, so I ended up using a dark brown pencil. And I'm going back in with the light brown that I used in my crease just to smoke out the lower lash line as well. I'm going back in with my setting brush from Real Techniques, and I'm lightly dusting the powder in and just making sure that that place is set. I went back in with my bronzer to set my nose contour as well. For powder blush, I'm using one from Juvia's Place in the shade Bella. I'm gonna apply that with my e.l.f. blush brush onto the apples of my cheeks. For setting spray, I'm using MAC Cosmetics Fix Plus. I'm just going to spritz that all over my face, and I'm going to fan it down just to make sure it dries down. For highlighter, I'm using the Fenty Diamond Bomb in the shade Royal Icing. I'm going to put that into my inner corners, my brow bones, the tip and the bridge of my nose, and the high points of my cheekbones. Yeah, I also applied a little bit on my Cupid's bow. For mascara, I'm using one from Huda Beauty. This is called Legit Lashes. I'm going to apply that on the bottom part of my eyelashes. I'm going to let that dry down before I go ahead and apply some onto my top eyelashes, because obviously we are not using eyelashes today. So yeah, I'm going back in with the pencil that I used to line my brows and tightline my eyes. I'm going to use that to roughly line my lips before I go in with my liquid lipstick. I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Stunner lip paint in the shade Unveil. I'm going to use that to blend the pencil into my lips so that the color that I apply at the center would just easily blend into my skin. And finally, I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Stunner lip paint in the shade Uncensored. I'm just going to go with that all over my lips. You can use any lip color of your choice. I just wanted to use red because I felt like it. So you can use a gloss or a nude lipstick, whatever sails your boat. So finally, I'm going back in with my Huda Beauty Legit Eyelashes mascara, and I'm just going crazy on my top eyelashes. I really do lack in the eyelash department, but yeah, this mascara is a great one. So yeah, this is the end of the video, and this is the look. It came out pretty cool. Let me know if you try it out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.